First on the Kelly File, new questions now about how the government handles some of your most private information. They come after reports surface about a woman in Kansas whose job it is to help people enroll in Obamacare. Turns out that woman, Rosalind Wells, also has an outstanding arrest warrant. Now that is raising questions about how these so-called navigators are screened and who is responsible if something goes wrong with your information. Joining me now, co-host of The Five right here on FNC and a former assistant district attorney, Kimberly Guilfoyle, joins me now. So that's not good.
No.
What does this woman do? These navigators basically get their hands on your private information as you try to enroll.
They do, and it's a big problem because it should be a position of trust. It should be a position of credibility and one in which the individual has had a very serious background check to ensure that they haven't had issues in the past with the law, with issues of crime, theft, anything like that, where you can say they have questionable credibility,
they
right?
do this before. When you apply to work in a nursing home,
sure,
they do a background check on you to make sure that you're a person of honesty and integrity. But they're not doing the background checks on the people who are taking people's private application material to enroll in Obamacare, something that the government is mandating they do?
This is the most personal, private information. It's really rife with the potential for identity theft, to have all of your information, take absolute Social Security, credit information, all of that, medical history. Imagine the most personal bits of information that maybe some of your family members don't even have or know about you.
Right.
This individual of questionable character and credibility would have that. Do you feel comfortable with that kind of decision?
Right.
Do you feel comfortable with an administration and a government that haphazardly put together this failure, epic failure of Obamacare, and then has this kind of individual entrusting your information, your identity with them?
Well,
it makes no sense.
Interesting, and Fox News has not independently confirmed this, but this is a report in the Daily Caller reports that this woman faced a 2007 civil charge from a local check cashing business for writing a bad check. Was more than $1,700 behind on her state tax bill.
Correct.
Now, if that was true, if she actually was convicted of charges for writing a bad check, and I can't tell whether this is just a charge that was dropped or a charge that she was convicted for, that would be something that would be admissible against you in a court of law. They consider bad check writing very problematic and very telling about your honesty.
It's a crime of what we call moral turpitude, okay? So say, for example, this woman would go to testify in front of a jury. The jury would hear all about it and say, you can discount her testimony because this is someone that you probably shouldn't believe because they have a loose relationship with the truth, they have criminal issues, and they should not be trusted. I mean, that's why this is so wrong.
What assurance? Because, you know, you're being told if you don't have health insurance, you're going to have to pay a big fine.
You're going to pay a fine.
Yeah, so you're not getting your refund this year. We're going to take your, you know, Obamacare fee, your tax out of your refund. So you've got to deal with these navigators potentially if you don't have health insurance. So you bump into these people. What assurances do you have?
You really don't have any. Where are the protections afforded to everyday Americans that are being compelled, forced, or under the penalty, you know, of a fine if they don't sign up for this? Number one, you can't get on the system to sign up for it. You're going to be penalized. And if you do get lucky enough to get on, this is who's going to have basically the keys to your identity. Does this make anyone feel a little uneasy?
Wow. And just to, you know, add some salt to the wounds, apparently these navigators make up to $48 an hour, nearly 3 times higher than the national minimum wage, and we are paying that.
Well, so it's very attractive, right, for
bill.
people to go get a job like this and just have you know, basically a playground of personal information on average Americans that they can take with and do what they will.
Right. And they get shut out of all these other jobs that do require background checks. But not this one. Welcome.
You can get that job, but you can't work at Starbucks.
There's a little loophole. There's a loophole in the system. Kimberly Guilfoyle, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
See you soon. Well, tonight you've heard an emotional defense of the veterans protest in Washington, D.C. So why are some of the mainstream media insisting this was a small group, some of whom resent having a black man in the White House? Is that really what this weekend's event was about?